Hello everyone, Deadeye here, and gonna talk a little bit more about Oshur and water physics and ideas, thoughts, and concerns. And unlike most of my videos, which are kind of stream of conscience, I actually wrote down some bullet points to go over. But before we get to that, just real quick, gonna mention the Auraximas 2021 directive. I think I said, hey, it doesn't look that hard. Yeah, I was wrong, mostly. Well, not wrong, it wasn't hard or anything, it's just a little more time consuming than I thought. I forgot, killing people with, like, the deep freeze and the ice-a-kill stuff takes time, and then so does doing one mission a day takes time, so I just ended up not doing that. But the footage you saw there is me, actually finishing it up. If you're seeing this video now, I'd probably skip doing the missions. Except maybe for like the first like two levels of the directive, because the last one is 9, and that's 9 days, and it's halfway over what's it called? It's halfway over December now, so probably if you're seeing this, don't have a whole lot of time. But that's just Auraximas. I needed to show it off because after all, I did all that work to get that skin I'm probably never gonna wear because I'm crazy. Yeah. It's actually not that bad looking, though. Anyways, okay, let's actually talk about Oshur, water physics ideas, and all that. I've been playing the game for the Auraximas mission, and I've been thinking a lot on my downtime, thinking a lot about how this is gonna work out. And I think my biggest concern right now is the fact that everything about the water slows it down, right? Running underwater is slow. Driving underwater is slow. Driving on top of water is slow and slippery. The planes underwater sounds flippin' crazy the more I think about it. They're gonna, because I mean, I understand in Oshur, the ocean's probably gonna be not full of buildings and stuff. Like the Indar Water test, which is the footage you're seeing right now, by the way. It's just Indar Water footage. This time in the day, though, that I recorded just for this video. And combat is going to be slow and close range, and the idea of slowing down this game doesn't sound crazy appealing to me altogether. I think it's worth pointing out here that when they first mentioned a water continent, I actually didn't remember the original discussion about it back in 2018, I think it was. Or maybe before that, even. So, when I heard about it this time, all I remember, the image I conveyed into my head was a continent that had, like, 3 major land masses that were separated by wide bodies of water, and there would be no land bridges or anything. So I rewatched the stream where they talked about it, and as far as I'm aware, there's gonna be no... I don't think they mentioned it anywhere. I don't think there's gonna be any completely marked off areas from land connections. And if water is so slow, everyone's just going to prefer land and air, but it depends, right? So, like, land is for close point-to-point, and air is for long-range point-to-point. I don't see what the benefit of water is going to be, unless people are forced to use it somewhere. And if they're not forced to use it somewhere, I don't think it's going to be a popular form of transport. We need, of course, to see more of the continent to really know. But that's why I'm mentioning, in my original creation in my head, there was completely cut off areas. So I'm gonna... You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna draw it. I'm gonna draw my idea of the continent. I'm gonna show it on screen now. It's not gonna look good. I cannot draw worth a damn. So excuse my drawing ability. But it's kind of like there'd be 3 continents, arcs, around each other, right? With wide bodies of water separating them. And of course on those continents there'd be, 5, 7, whatever amount of places to fight for. But once you want to jump continents, you would have to do a big major water push. This is, of course, the idea before I knew that water was going to be slow as balls. I think it's so that's it's probably a bad picture. I'm so sorry. And there would be a center continent with 1 or 2 points, because there's always a center point, you know, the crown, TI allies to fight over, and that would be separate from everyone. And in my head, maybe you could make some really cool tech that would create a land bridge for that center continent, whoever owned it. But let's be honest, that's probably a little bit too much to ask. And of course, that's that idea is what's in my head. And then when I actually saw it, and I saw that it's just kind of like an Indar Amherst mashup with some water, it might be very enjoyable, but I don't see what the water stuff adds. And of course, in the other videos I talked about, Oshur, you can go make water vehicles. But speaking of big asks, that's new vehicle designs. Seems like kind of an ask, with a different kind of layer of physics. Like I said, I'd love a PT boat and running around, or like a landing craft, you know, or like a very small, like, well, not like a battleship, but a little, you know, attack craft, you know. It would be cool, but that's a whole nother complex layer of physics, because the underwater physics is just it feels like just modifying the current layers of physics attached to these vehicles with different numbers. But watercraft seems you're starting from scratch, and you need to do a lot of work, and it doesn't seem like that's something that we would be able to get. I would love it. The opportunity's still there. Submarines would be cool, but instead of making submarines, just take the planes and let them work underwater, right? That's why I was curious that when they announced the water stuff, they said there'd be no buildings underwater. And I think underwater bases would be at least another benefit. If everything is slow, at least it would be easy to hide a base, like a router spire, or an orbital, or anything, right? But there's no building underwater. So right now, my biggest concern, I have no idea what the point of the water is for. So I'm imagining it's probably too late to change the big philosophy behind the new continent. But my idea would be large continents, islands, separated by large bodies of water entirely, to make water traversal a little more useful. Of course, people would still probably prefer air travel, but maybe they're going to do something with making air travel less effective on this continent. You know, with like anti-aircraft encampments. We shall see. There's a lot of already anti-aircraft ability out there, but we shall see. When I've been flying around daytime water Indar, though, thing I think I enjoy the most is these half-submerged places, like the tech plants, the amp station. I think the one I probably enjoyed the most, and hopefully I remember to put at least part of the footage in for this, if I don't, because, you know, the footage is like 20-something minutes long, but I'm not going to use all of it, is Quartz Ridge. Because Quartz Ridge, you know, it's on a deep slope, so half that base is underwater and half that base is high ground. And that, to me, is maybe more interesting than pretty much anything else. Because if water traversal is not going to be used because the land travel and air travel's quicker and superior to it, let us at least have some interesting base designs. And I do believe they can do it on that. I do have confidence, personally. I actually think, I know Hassan, we make a lot of jokes about Hassan, but I think it has some of the best base designs in the game, and they're unique and sometimes a little more challenging. I know it wasn't very popular. I also really liked Subterranean Nanite before they removed it. People complained about it being maze-like and difficult to take, and that was before containment signs existed, which are so maze-like and difficult to take that they have to put arrows on the ground to guide people. I feel that some bases being difficult isn't a problem. It makes taking them more rewarding. so many of the bases in the game right now are, do you have 2-3% more pop at the base than the enemy? You're gonna win it. Majority of them are like that. Of course, there's a few that aren't, and then there's ways to manipulate, spawning and whatnot in bases that can change that. But I like bases that are inherently different, and that differences can make a more interesting capture of that base. But overall, I think they're capable of designing great bases, and I don't want to see that. I think if we're going to be doing underwater combat, and it's slow and close range, and other things like that, let's try and make interesting situations with that. Not every base needs to be, like flat field and figuring it out. With the same 4, building doodads just dropped in place. I think some underwater facilities, some half-submerged facilities, could be kind of interesting. And I'm hoping they do that. From what we've seen in the footage, we haven't seen a lot of that. Doesn't seem like there was any of that in the footage, in fact. I could be wrong. Didn't study every frame of it for, clues and whatnot. But right now, from the footage, it just looks like islands with tall cliffs with bases. Make something a little more dynamic, I think could be interesting. We shall see. I am not gonna pretend that me sitting here asking for anything is gonna mean anything. Who am I to ask the devs what to do? They're much more experienced and capable than I am at this. At least it's something. And it leaves room for more development possibilities. Of course, maybe in the future they can find time for some specific watercraft. So if we're going to be going down this route with underwater submerged combat bases, we can make some development for the players to make it more interesting, faster traversal, give everyone a little fucking jetpack to travel underwater. Of course, right now, the jetpack is quick to travel underwater on Indar, but yeah, a little underwater turbine so people can move faster. Or, an emergency, like, life vest that shoots you to the top surface if you need to get away real fast. I don't know, harpoons? Yeah, let's go full on harpoons, why not? I wrote harpoons real quick, but I didn't think about it. I'm not the best at ideas, but little underwater one-man flashes where you just scoot around, underwater scooter. That's an idea. In the end, though, really, I just want them to be happy with what they make, fully commit to it, and then we're happy with what's the result. I don't want anything to be half, finished and rushed. So, curious how to see it goes. It's about really all that there is. I hope you're all enjoying this little talking. People seem to be watching some of my Planetside stuff, so guess I'll do a little bit of it. Why not? Yeah, that's gonna be it for me. You can go check back my last couple of videos on Planetside by searching my channel. I do daily uploads, I do Let's Plays and reviews and random kinds of content as well. But that's for me. If you subscribe, daily uploads, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's gonna be it for me today, though. Hope you all enjoyed. Didn't really have an ending. I'm not good at ending videos. Anyway, see y'all on the battlefield. The old Planetside. I need a catchy outro phrase. See y'all when I shoot you in the head. All right. That's awful. Bye now.